Welcome to the Combot Collective.
Hello everyone and welcome to our second standalone news episode of the Combot Collective, bringing you everything you want to know about the 2021 Battlebots regular season and beyond in the live events. As that's what we have right here is news about live events and Battlebots. We have two big live event topics, two big Battlebots topics. We're talking about a live event in America, we're talking about a live event in the UK, and then we're talking about the G4 Battlebots segment that aired just before the playoff episode last week. And we're also talking about two new Battlebots applicants. Well, one new Battlebots applicant and one returning Battlebots applicant, that being part of my French. All of that is coming up, and if you like what you're seeing here, please give us a like and a subscribe, leave a comment. Please follow our Facebook and our Instagram page and join our Discord community. All that will be found in the description below. Let's jump into the news here. Starting off our news here with what is really the hottest topic this week, Norwalk Havoc is finally back doing their 2022 March qualifier for the finals that they do in December. This is their first event since their brief hiatus. They had to do a big quick pause in February, but they're back for this event, and the entire stream was amazing. It was 13 hours of great robot combat in the 3-pound class, the 12-pound sportsman class, the 12-pound class, and of course the featherweight, the 30-pound class. The entire event looked fantastic. It was easily one of the best produced online streamed robot combat events I've ever seen. You have to go back to like some of the earlier events to get something similar to this. This event just has a great vibe. Norwalk Havoc and their crew always delivers. They always bring a better and better show each year. And this showed it right here, you know, fantastic stuff, fantastic competition, fantastic robots. Everything was upgraded, but they still have the same classic 3 arenas that you always expect from these events. The same 2 beetleweight arenas and the one big main 12-pound and 30-pound arena. But the entire set and everything else from that has been completely upgraded. You see where they do the hosting now. It has that nice wooden backdrop. I will miss the TVs. That was really cool, but I do like what they're doing here. They have more cast members. They have former Roboteers. They have professional personnel in there. The judging interface was upgraded so you can see the live points that they put up. The whole thing just looks completely excellent. They keep turning up the ante every year, and this is the kind of legitimacy that robot combat needs. They know that people are watching it around the world, and they know Battlebots is watching it. You know, Aaron Catling, of course, has said before that he has watched this stuff. He's a big follower of Norwalk Havoc stuff, and sometimes puts that stuff into consideration when he does the fight cards for Battlebots. Numerous friends of the Combot Collective were in attendance at this event, such as Aberrant Robotics, our buddy Kringus, Broken Gears Robotics, Team Blackbird, among others, all competing at this event. And when the Combot Collective does cover this event later on in March and April, hopefully we can have some of them on, have some other people come in, do some guest work, because there'll be a lot of fights to cover, a lot of robots to talk about. I certainly could use a couple hands on deck to talk about that crazy event, because it does need to be covered in detail. It's a great show. So yeah, expect a full breakdown of Norwalk around that time. It'll be after our South Florida Fair and Motorama breakdowns. But before we talk about our next event here, we cannot ignore what was easily the biggest highlight of this Norwalk Havoc event. And I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about here. It was easily the craziest moment at this entire event, probably one of the craziest moments in Norwalk Havoc history. Havoc is one word for it. Of course, we're talking about Dustin S1 of Deep Six and Team Overboard fame's new robot, brand new spinner to their team, depth charge here. It is a 45-pound featherweight with bristle drive. They were given an extra 15 pounds for being a non-wheeled robot, and they used every ounce of that weight to their advantage because this thing is absolutely insane. It was like a detached Triple Crown spinner just shuffling around the arena. It's totally menacing to watch it fight. You have to go check this out. We have it right here, in fact, but do watch the video. It's just shuffling around. There's not much stability here, but in this fight here against James, it completely annihilates the James Minibot, but also the Norwalk Arena in many ways during this fight. Immediately in the opening seconds, Depth Charge loses control and takes out one of the arena cameras. Throughout the entire fight, it's getting around, ripping apart the arena floor and arena wall. And in that final charge right here, you can see James running depth charge directly into that front arena Lexan. It did its job. It protected everyone. Everyone was safe. Don't freak out about safety here. It did its job. But It completely obliterated that front arena Lex stand. We haven't seen something like this since the Apex incident in Robot Wars Series 10. Very similar shades to that. Both James and Depth Charge were completely knocked out by this. The arena wall was obliterated. Just saying this doesn't do it justice. You gotta hear the crowd. You gotta see everyone react to it in real time. The commentators for Norwalk Havoc are always amazing, but this just shows you how insane it gets. See this? This is probably one of the biggest Robot Combat moments this year. That's not even joking. This is absolutely insane. As we now move across the pond to talk about a Beetleweight event. A few weeks ago, we broke news about the Medway Rapture Gaming and Creative Festival hosting their second annual Beetleweight event and their plans on having it being the largest Beetleweight event in UK history. Well, now on March 24th, Gareth Anstey's has broke news on Discord that this event will in fact be the largest Beetleweight event in UK history. Congratulations to them on that big a goal here. 60 robots in total are planned for the event. But perhaps more exciting here, though, is the announcement of the team wanting to open up 10% of the field, 6 slots of the competition here for international teams. So the team behind this, Bristol Bot Builders, Medway Rapture, Gareth, of course, clearly looking to branch out and potentially start working some international groups here, potentially from Robot Ruckus, Norwalk Havoc, maybe the New Zealand Zine, or Fighting My Bots. Looking for teams trying to gain some international acclaim here, trying to make their teams bigger, and trying to make their event bigger, of course. But of course, the event will likely be application based. So if you're a consistently high-ranking UK Beetleweight or an aforementioned international Beetleweight, automatic seating spots will be given out to those teams. So overall, this event we should be looking at what will be a very fascinating field with plenty of diversity here within the 60 robots. If this is really going to be the event they were saying it is, this should be the biggest UK Beetleweight event since Bellabots, you would have to imagine. So a lot at stake here. The event itself is also promising quite a bit of an atmosphere. They have a full pits area, full arena zone, so plenty of space. They also said that they're going to have a full heavyweight display. So hopefully we'll see some cool robots hanging out at that event. So hopefully we'll see some footage of it, maybe a bit like a mini Robo Nerd, having all those robots hanging out there. But this is going to be really exciting. We'll be covering this at some point in July or August after the event footage comes out. And in terms of the event itself, if you're wanting to compete in it, signups will open for this event in a Google form on April 16th. And if you're looking for a guaranteed spot, applications for that are open right now. So that's all for our live events here. Let's start talking about some Battlebots news here, as Battlebots making a little bit of a mainstream appearance here, as back on March 24th, just moments before Battlebots' playoff episode for the second half of the top 32 hit there on Discovery. The recently returning G4 and their program Attack of the Show had a Battlebots-centric episode, which featured numerous little bits, an RC robot combat tournament, Whiplash and Mad Catter and their teams, and a handful of other people from Battlebots itself in what was a interesting little event. It has had some mixed reactions online, sadly. Show, of course, is hosted by Kevin Pereira, and it started off with the Battlebots here, which was kind of exciting. Had Kevin Pereira in front of the little RC toy arena that they had built off. Then they panned over and showed off Whiplash and Mad Catter before cutting off to some other parts of the show. But later on, they did come back, and they started it off by showcasing Whiplash. They showcased Mad Catter. They showcased Pete Abramson. They had them all come out with their robots. And they did a little interview bit. You know, it had some of your basic questions, some of the guerrilla stuff like, can you put a gun in the robot? Can you put napalm on there? What's allowed? What's not allowed? Can you have cannons? All that goofy stuff. But Kevin Pereira, to his credit, did have a couple good questions smattered in there. So it is definitely worth a look, especially for Martin Mason. Martin Mason is in character, by the way, for this entire thing. That alone makes this worth watching, because this next segment, after the whole interview bit, was a bit weird. It kind of tailed off. They were talking about butts. They had a whole butt segment about robots. Robots. I'm sure that pun was made on the show. Probably by Martin Mason himself. He totally ruled. He saved this segment, in fact, because, yeah, Kevin showed Matthew. He showed Pete. He showed Martin a bunch of famous robot butts. You know, we had Rosie's butt on there. We had T1000's butt on there. We had Curiosity's butt on there. This is something I never thought I was going to be saying whenever I made this show. But here I am talking about robot butts myself. But yeah, Martin Mason with his puns, his assets, talking about all that stuff. It really did say if it was a really goofy segment. But then the segment ended with all the Attack of the Show personalities having a bit of a Battlebots fight card of their own with their little toy Battlebots, which, well, I say Battlebots because they were all built out of the same RC car, which I don't know who chose these RC cars. I've never seen an RC car which suffered at turning as much as these dudes did. I mean, this is G4. Surely they had the money to let these people get their own RC car. But it was fun. I'll give these guys credit. It wasn't just the RC car with some crap glued onto it. These bots they had their own little personality. They were fun to look at. But after 1 or 2 fights, you saw them and you were like, all right, yeah, these guys push each other. It's like a sumo arena with one too many walls. They just sort of ram into each other. Then they back up. And they ram into each other. And then they back up. And then every time then something unhinged happens, like a giant man in a cat suit with a bat coming in, smashing stuff with a bat. I mean, Martin Mason was really excited about that. I'll give him credit for that. That part was pretty fun. But oh, it was a little crazy at times. I do want to give a shout out to Xavier Woods and his little robot. It was probably the best of the bunch. It had like a 3D printed crown and a 3D printed trombone and shield on it. Just what I would expect from him. I have to imagine that he's a big Battlebots fan. Anytime that Battlebots and wrestling, my 2 favorite passions, can come together, I'm all for it. And that was really cool to see. I get it's not for a hardcore fan, and there's a lot of people online complaining about this segment. And I'm sure those are the same people complaining about all 9 fights not being shown these Battlebots episodes. They don't understand we need to have ads on the show as well. This is great publicity for this show. There's a lot of people watching it. There were a lot of people watching it live when it happened as it went down. People are talking about it, and this probably showed some people who didn't know Battlebots was back that it came on. We'll probably see a little bit of a spike in viewership on the episode. Probably not a lot. G4 isn't huge. It's still on the comeback. So, I mean, it's just exciting. There's nothing wrong with this. This is not bad publicity. It's good to have Battlebots in these mainstream segments again, having it in the public eye. And sure, it was a little bit hokey. You know, we had some dumb questions in there. The butt segment was a little bit weird. But the people that we had on, Pete Abramson and Martin Mason, are fantastic personalities. They know how to joke around. They know how to sometimes not take stuff so seriously. And I think it really worked out. They sent the right people out there. The robots were on display. You could tell that the whole cast was really fascinated by them. Picked some great robots with some great personality, like Mad Catter. Whiplash is a successful robot to have out there, show off some prestige. And overall, like I said, fantastic segment. I really enjoyed it. And as we cap it off, the application segment is back as we have 2 more robots that have applied for Battlebots within this past month. For the upcoming season, the 2022 season of Battlebots, of course, one of these robots being a complete rookie in a unique case. They don't have a video out, but they do have an Instagram and quite a unique website. But we'll go to first here to a robot that familiar with to some fans of Battlebots here. We've seen it compete this year. It is a robot that has had some awful luck. Of course, we're talking about the 2021 Battlebots rookie, Pardon My French, applying yet again. Like I said, awful luck this year. The robot arrived late. Half the team was from England, so they weren't able to arrive. And the robot itself had a rough year. Knockout defeats to Claw Viper and Valkyrie. So veteran robots, they weren't bad defeats, but they certainly were one-sided defeats. Overall, it had an 0-2 season, nowhere near the playoff picture, and we don't know what's going on with Bounty Hunters, but they're just in a rough spot this year. The bot was just having some overall mobility issues, and they were understaffed. It's a bit sad for them. I'm sure they were frustrated, but they have a lot of good things going this year. They're planning well ahead for this 2022 event with this application here. Team Wee, of course, coming fully prepared for 2022, though, as the team has posted an application video featuring what looks to be pretty much a complete Pardon My French, or nearly complete, for this next Battlebots season. They have committed a lot here, and this robot looks absolutely fantastic. It has a Shreemec now, has sort of like a classic 2-arm Shreemec, has a brand new, bigger vertical spinner, which is 50% more power and a faster spin-up time, of 5 seconds, in fact. And the team themselves, they have upgraded as well. They now have a North American team primarily, so we likely won't be seeing as many travel issues coming from the team. There will be a lot of likely Americans and Canadians. And the robot itself, the team has said in the application that they would plan on having 3 fully prepared Pardon My Frenches ready. So we can likely expect them to have a 3 or 4 fight regular season next year. They'll be able to hang in there for the long run and not have a short season like we saw so many robots suffer from this year. And it looks like we might be looking pretty good for Pardon My French. I said it earlier in the year. I think a few times during episode discussions and stuff that I know a few people were saying that Part of My French shouldn't come back for 2022 due to a poor performance. But I feel like for the cases of Part of My French and Jaeger especially, those robots, they were clearly given a bad luck with the whole UK visa thing. A lot of their team weren't able to show up, and especially for Part of My French's case, the robot showed up like later than pretty much any other robot. The crate didn't show up. I mean, they had a 2-person crew. It was just a rough time for them. They just deserve a better shot here. You know, there was a lot of hype for Part of My French when it came out initially back in the end of 2019. And then it got accepted, and then the hype kind of fizzled out. New robots came and went. They weren't able to compete in the original 2020 season. So they finally appeared here. The hype kind of subdued. But they deserve a shot here. They definitely deserve a shot here. I think we will see them in 2022. And we could see them become one of the real breakout robots of the season, you know. I always love my international teams. I love seeing a brand new region like Quebec come into the big leagues here and try to fight. And I do think that this robot deserves to be a second season machine. It reminds me so much of Red Rum. I love the unique, bulky but compact shape of Part of My French. And give this bot a shot. I want to see that Shrew mech in action. Following this is a rookie robot called Hot Pizza, which the Combot Collective has been following on Instagram for quite a while. They're quite an interesting team, but they have made some progress here. Hot Pizza looks to be a horizontal spinner with a diagonal pizza box shape aesthetic and a pizza blade style spinning weapon. The whole robot itself gives me a very Battle Royale with Cheese aesthetic vibe, which certainly not a bad thing. I think Battle Royale with Cheese could have been a huge hit if it was a successful robot, because the bot looked absolutely amazing. And this thing looks absolutely amazing from the concept art they posted, which we'll have right here. From what it seems like on the team's Instagram page, there's very minimal info about this robot. Is that the bot looks to be from Las Vegas, I think. And the team has been working on this robot since about Christmas 2021. It looks like they know what they're doing. They posted a lot of progress pics of the robot itself. So they have some access to some great machinery, it looks like, to make this bot a reality. And they're well on their way to building it. So, but I don't know what robots they have or what is on their team. I believe they have someone named Jeff on their team. I know that's some great reporting there, but there's a lot of unknowns for this Hot Pizza robot. But the big thing that Pory discovered when he was doing a bit of research for us, looking at some robots that were potential applicants for 2022, he found this page. He found the Hot Pizza webpage, which looks exactly like a pizza website. It's adorable. You can see it right here. It is a bit templatey. There's a lot of template text all over the website here, there, and everywhere. So it's not complete, but if they update this website and give all the pages in full, like it would just sparkle in its own like style. It really does remind me of some of them old school Robot Combat websites you'd see back in the 2000s. It's a lot of fun. They just need to make it like its own thing. And I love the whole aesthetic of this robot. You know, it's hard to give Hot Pizza a verdict when we know so little about it. We've seen the pictures of them giving it some construction. We've seen the website. We've seen the concept art. It is kind of goofy to see a robot. It's like if Rhino from the old Battlebots seasons, you know, the one that was like square, but it was angled. It was coming at you. But instead of that spike, it's a big old fuck off vert. So, I mean, not fuck off vert. It's a horizontal spinner. Surgeon General kind of style horizontal spinner. Could be a big disc. I would love to see what this disc is going to look like. Maybe it'll have like weight cutouts of like mushrooms and anchovies and little things like that to save weight. This bot has a chance to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see it potentially in action. Like I said, the verdict's out. I think we have to see more progress of this and see how ready the team is, because there's a lot of teams here trying to get into Battlebots. Lots are minimal. I think the fact that they're likely from Vegas is a big plus for them. Less room for Bellabots have to worry about traveling. You know, at least bring them in for a bounty tournament or something since they're right there. But I guess time will tell as we start wrapping up the news here. And that's going to do it for us at the news here in the Combot Collective as we recap everything here. It was a fairly simple news week, but the biggest topic of the week being Norwalk Havoc's March events returning. Crazy combat, crazy production. It was a fantastic stream, with the biggest highlight of the week being Depth Charge coming in with a huge strike to James and to the arena, destroying Depth Charge, destroying James, as Depth Charge somehow got the judge's decision off that. The whole stream is worth checking out. It will be in the description below. You gotta give Norwalk Havoc some love. This is where a lot of the big teams are discovered, like Pain Train and such. But going now across the pond, talking about Midway Rapture's Gaming and Creative Festival's UK Beetleweight event. It is officially going to be the largest Beetleweight event in UK history with 60 slots. 6 are likely going to be given to international participants as applications for this event open April 16th with early seating and international applications opening right now. Document for that will be in the description below. If you have a robot that is eligible for that, please don't blow these guys up. First, some Battlebots news. Battlebots had an appearance in a Battlebots-centric, Battlebots-themed Attack of the Show episode on G4. There were plenty of Battlebots segments on this show. There was a Battlebots butt segment, a long interview segment showcasing Team Whiplash and Team Mad Catter here. And then there was a RC Battlebot fight card that was incredibly goofy. Like we said, there was people slamming balls around, throwing their fists. There was a giant cat with a baseball bat. Didn't mean to rhyme there, but I sure did. Martin Mason was going absolutely apeshit crazy during this whole thing. You gotta check this out. It is a bit hokey, it's a bit goofy, but this is gonna give Battlebots some attention, and that's what we like to see here. And then, of course, we ended the episode talking about 2 Battlebots 2022 applicants. One, of course, being part of my French 2, which has made some big upgrades. They have a Shreemic. They have a bigger, more powerful weapon with a faster spin-up time. We saw it destroy the old part of my French in the application video. They now have a bigger team. More part of my French spares will be ready to go. So they look solid. Along with that, we also have Hot Pizza, a horizontal spinner, diagonally square in its shape. I don't know what you can call this thing, a rhombus? It's square, but it doesn't matter. The bot is really fun looking. It has like a pizza box theme. The blade's a pizza cutter. It's going to be, or a pizza itself. I guess it's a pizza cutter. I digress. The bot looks really fun. The website's really cool. We'll put the website for Hot Pizza in the description below as well. And that's going to do it for the news here at the Combot Collective. 4 things up, 4 things down. I don't know when this is going to go up. I'm about to go on my vacation, so we will see. Speaking of that vacation, I am Sterling Brown. You can find me on Instagram at SterlingTXTG. I am going to have future podcasts along with the Combot Collective coming up later on this year. And I will be doing some vlogs of that vacation that I just talked about, so keep an eye out for that if you're enjoying what we're doing here. Thank you so much for watching the Combot Collective. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Please subscribe. Please give us a like. It means so much to us as we wrap up the news here. Thank you again so much, and we will see you next time.
This was the Combot Collective. Find us on Instagram and Discord.